Hello, everybody, and welcome to Remotes Army's presentation of the Brian Wheatley's Coaches Show. And Brian, it's always great to have you. How you doing?
I'm really excited to be here tonight. It's a beautiful day, and Pops is a great place to have dinner.
Oh my goodness,
And,
yes. And go ahead.
Are we still static?
Yeah,
there?
yeah. Well, I'll fix that.
And excited to bring one of the best players we have, Sadie Kluner, and awesome new girls basketball coach, Coach Martin, is in the house tonight. Excited about that.
Well, we're all excited about what we're going to be hearing about what happened in the past games. And it's been 2 weeks since we were here at Pops because we had last week off
That's true.
due to Labor Day. And so in the meantime, we had 3 wins and 1 loss. Not good.
Well, it's
Well, I mean, it's the elephant in the room.
Yeah, well, our schedule's starting to ramp up a little bit, and it's definitely we look at it as a process, and we just want to be the best we can by the end of the year. So
Yeah.
we're sitting at 5-1 right now, but this week really gets tough, and the next 2 weeks gets really tough for us.
You have, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it, but this weekend, the Battle of the Beach. The following weekend, it's the Durango Classic out in the Las Vegas area where there are 66 teams invited to that one.
Yes.
This weekend, the Battle of the Beach, 16. But this is your baby. You dreamed all about it, and it's really come together quite well in all the years.
Yeah, it's fun. We got a great facility at Venice High, and about 4 or 5 years ago, we just kind of started brainstorming and getting the best teams in the state from all corners to be able to play one another, and starting to get some out-of-team state to come in. And so we're just trying to grow it, but we want the absolute best teams to come to our tournament and make it one of the best in the Southeast.
Okay, before Labor Day, you had a couple of games there on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and you won both of those. McGill-Tulin, I believe, was part of that, and that was a pretty incredible win, but it was a fun night for the kids.
Yeah, that was a really fun match. Probably the most athletic team we've played all year.
And you had the height advantage.
We did. I think they had the jumping advantage, but we had the height advantage, and we played really well, and our kids really grew up that night. So I was really proud of them, and that was exciting.
You're not afraid to play tough teams because that's what kind of molds the mettle of these kids, because until they actually get tested, you just don't want them to just walk over everybody, although that would be nice. But at the same time, it's not going to prepare them for playoffs at the end of the season.
For sure. I mean, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And, the tougher the opponent, I think the more it does for your team, win or lose. You got to at least you got to be competing. If you're not competing, then that's a different story. But we're going to be in every match this year, and there's some things that we're working on right now that I'm excited to see how it goes this week. So,
yeah, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. That was after Labor Day. That next Tuesday, the next day, Cardinal Mooney, they came into town, and things kind of looked okay. They took the first set, then the second set. You guys were right in there. You were up like 6 points. And it started to fall apart.
Yeah, Cardinal Mooney's a really talented team this year. They got some really nice players. I really thought we should have won the first 2 games. It was 22 all, and there was a couple momentum swings there at the very end. We got back on the horse in game 2 and had a nice lead, and just couldn't close out, which is indicative of a young team. So that kind of stuff will change. I'm not worried about that at all. I mean, it's definitely fixable things. So
you scout teams very well because you know your opponent, and this was the week before Labor. It was that week before Labor Day. We were talking about what was coming up the following week, and you even told me then. You said Cardinal Mooney, they're the real deal, and because you know who your competition is.
Yeah, I think that's important to gain an advantage that way, and I don't think our coaching staff would be good coaches if we didn't have some kind of handle on our upcoming competition. So, really, the beginning of the season, to be honest with you, we're more concerned about who we are and our side of the net. We're not really as concerned with the other side of the net, but we will be. As the season goes on, we'll start getting more in depth on what teams are doing. But as of right now, we're trying to figure out who we are, and we want to take care of our side of the net before we can do anything with the team across on the other side.
Yeah. Is it too early to bring in our one of the two seniors on the team?
It's a great time.
Okay, Sadie, go ahead and pick that up, and I'll let you introduce. Go ahead and introduce her.
Yeah, so this is Sadie Kluner, and she's one of our high flyers this year, and she's a Terminator, and she's got a really heavy hit. Got a great jump. She's really close to touching the rim, and she's got a nice high volleyball IQ as well. So she's one of our veterans. She's been in the fire before, and we are counting on her heavily to not only lead our team emotionally but also physically as well. And she, the last 2 matches, she has put up incredible numbers. Against Mooney, she had 20 kills and 1 error, which is incredible. And then the match before, I think she put up 17 kills. So she's doing her part, and she knows that she needs 5 other people on the court with her. So she's doing a great job of helping some of our young kids get more acclimated with the varsity game and how much faster it is than JV. So we're very fortunate to have her.
Sadie, welcome to the Coaches Show here live at Pop Sunset Grill. Glad to have you with us on the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, you need to hold that a little bit closer and aim it. There you go.
Okay, thank you for having me.
That's perfect. The coach actually heard. Yeah, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
Good extension, and that's probably what people notice first when you get on the when you get on the court. They obviously know your height. But then when you start approaching the net, they notice your extension, and your feet off the ground there. Do you practice that, or does that just come just because? How does that happen?
No, we're in the weight room every day over the summer because we have summer workouts, and then we're in the weight room. And compared to my freshman year, my vertical has gotten so much higher just because we've been in the weight room and been lifting and squatting. So.
Okay. Just aim it at you. There you go, and then back it up just about an inch or two, and that'll be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called being on axis. So, no, but people notice that because you get to the net and you have either a corner and you hit that coffin corner. Doesn't she hit that coffin corner really cool?
She's got it down pat.
And then when what is nice is that you earn the serve, and so after you hit the coffin corner, she gets to serve it, and then there's an ace that fouls it in. Maybe the same corner. That's pretty cool, isn't it, Coach?
Well, she's got a really nasty serve this year. We started working on a new serve for her probably beginning of May.
Yeah.
And it's deadly. It's something a lot of teams don't ever see. It's a jump top spin serve, and it's it's a lot what the guys do in the men's game, and she's really got that serve down. So it comes in quick. So
these serves actually have a name to it. The jump top top spin.
That's right. It's got a name. So
now Jeremy's going to look on that, and he says, "I wonder if I can." We're going to introduce Jeremy here in a minute. He's the basketball coach. He's going to say, "How do I do a jump top spin dunk?"
That'd be nice.
Wheelhouse there. Okay, Sadie. So you're learning this new serve.
Mm-hmm.
Coach teaches it to you, or says, "I have an idea," or how does that? Or do you just say, "Hey, I want to do something different. Do you have something for me?" Who initiates that next step?
He wanted me and Gabby and Mandy to get a little bit of diversity in our serves, because a lot of none of us had really done any of that. Last year we had a girl named Paige, and she used to do a top spin serve, but everyone else on the team right now just a float. So we wanted to mix it up a little. So he introduced us to do the top spin.
So you went to the coach, or the coach?
No, he went to us.
Okay, and he says, "I have an idea for you. Are you willing to try it?" Is that what happened?
Yeah.
And it's a natural serve for pin hitters because it mimics the spike. So at first I think they were a little sketchy, and then we just kept on working on it, and we went and played a couple matches up in Orlando, and they saw that it had some success. So I think of the 3 players that are trying it, I think Sadie's bought in the most, because I think she's seen a lot of success from that serve. So
do you like? sharing what you have. I'm just kind of changing just a little bit here. Sharing, though, what you have with the underclassmen. You are one of 2 seniors now. So,
Yeah.
so Coach comes to you, and Coach says, hey, I've got this new serve. And the kids are, your fellow classmates, are watching how you respond to the coach. And, okay, I'm taking advice. I'm taking I'm listening to what he has to say. The rest of the class, they're watching that as well, because I was watching you in practice. You are not afraid to dig in to do the receive. You know, some kids, I just want to be on the front line and just spike all day long, but you're not afraid to receive. I mean, you'll play any position, won't you?
I try to. So, because I want to be like a 6 rotation player when I go to college. So, like, I try to do good back row, so that way I can stay in the whole game.
If you're lucky, you could be the libero.
No. I think we need me hitting.
Oh, my goodness. Let's take a timeout, and then what we're going to do, we're going to bring in the new basketball coach of Venice High School. How's that sound, Coach?
It's going to be good. He's very high energy and really cares about the kids, so he's going to do great things at Venice High.
Right, welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you with us right here. We are live at Pop Sunset Grill. Glad to have you with us. Coach Brian Wheatley, this is his show, and Pops has graciously opened up their area for us here, and we get some of the best food that, I mean, we can have, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to have it's almost like the Wheatley sampler. I'm
going to get the peel and eat shrimp tonight. I'm really excited about it. Maybe a little side salad, too, so it's good.
Now, if you're out there watching and listening, you can come to Pops and you get the same items that Coach is going to get.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We can eat dinner together even.
Yeah, Coach's wife, come on down here and join him. All right, introduce the newest member. Is it the newest member of your coaching team over at Venice High School?
I believe it is, actually, yeah. Coach Jeremy Martin. So,
Coach Martin, you're on screen now. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
All right. Boy, he's not afraid to boom it out there, is he?
No, he's a boomer.
First of all, I want to thank Coach Wheatley for having me. I truly look up to him as a person and what he has accomplished as a coach. So it's truly a pleasure to be here right now.
Well, it's a joy to have you here. And girls basketball, obviously you've coached it before in other venues and other schools.
Yep, and also been at the boys for 8 years at the JV level, assistant varsity. One thing about Venice, we're all a family, so I've been taught wonderful things, not only through being a coach, being a person, and really at Venice helping the kids. I'm truly blessed to impact the girls' life every single day, and I take that serious. I'm here to create high school memories that will last a lifetime. You know,
Coach Wheatley, you are very much like that as Coach Peacock and as Coach Flynn and Faulkner and baseball. I'm trying to think of all the coaches. I can't, but character is important, and we've just seen something happen over the weekend in the NFL that disgusted a lot of people as far as the character issue.
Yeah, you're talking about Antonio Brown?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, records, wins and losses don't matter, and all of our kids aren't going to remember any of that stuff. They're going to remember, what their coaches were about, what their teammates were about, what their program stood for, and, we're here to help them. I think athletic ups and downs totally relate to life's up and downs. So, I think our coaching staff does a great job of remembering that kind of stuff. And yeah, we like to win, but that's really not the big picture.
Yeah.
The winning just becomes that's just a result of the process. So it's good stuff.
Okay, what are you looking forward to? I saw that you were trying to recruit this lady to your right. I'm talking about Sadie Kluner, to be on your squad, and she's reluctantly saying, I think I want to be a waitress over here at a server over here at Pops instead.
Actually, it started as she told me she's thinking about playing basketball.
Oh, really?
I respect Coach Wheatley to the T, and I support his program. So I will not talk basketball until she is done with volleyball. All I care about is volleyball first. I'm a Venice Indian, and I support Coach Wheatley, so I will approach that later.
Okay, Sadie, he's brought you into it. Let's follow that beautiful segue that he got there. You approached him about basketball?
Yeah, I was thinking about doing basketball this year because I'm not playing club volleyball. So I figured that, like, I might as well stay in shape. And I love basketball. I always have. And so.
And she's a really good basketball player, too.
Yeah.
Well, in basketball, you can't be afraid to mix it up because you get in there and there's more banging of bodies, as they say.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oh, she knows.
That won't bother you at all?
No, I'm really aggressive on the basketball court. So.
She is. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So
I remember
already
from the YMCA days, she was an animal. That's why I tried to get her to play volleyball, because she was so aggressive on the basketball court when she was 8.
Coach Martin, this has got to you're salivating now at this, because having someone who wants to be competitive. When I call basketball in Lemon Bay, when I called one of their games, one of my color analysts came to me and they said afterwards, they never met a floor they didn't like because they get scrappy on the floor, which I see more on the women's basketball than I do on the guys. It's like they try to finesse it up and down, and it's like that. Have you noticed that, Coach Wheatley?
Yeah, I think a girls' fight is always better than a boys' fight. There's hair pulling, and they want to kill each other. The boys, they just kind of push each other, and the girls are much better to watch fighting-wise.
This is Coach Brian Wheatley's WWE World Champion Wrestling here. Okay, you're hearing all this. Go.
I mean, first of all, it speaks a lot about Coach Wheatley and how he prepares people to compete at a high level. I mean, I think that's what Sadie does. I don't think it matters if basketball. I think in life, she's learned a lot of lessons to be successful, just because of that competitive edge. This world is competitive, and it's just only going to help her if she does play basketball, and for her future. And that's all I really care about. So I'm here for her.
Yeah. She'll end up winning the championship, then eating turkey on Thanksgiving. Then she can join you. How's that sound? So she might miss the first 2 weeks.
I would serve her turkey, whatever she wants. Do you like turkey?
I'm more into ham.
I'm gonna give her nachos. She wants the nachos today. I'm gonna serve her nachos at
turkey nachos.
No, ham. She likes ham.
So you're gonna make nachos out of ham?
No,
ham nachos?
like I want the nachos here,
Yeah, she
tonight.
wants the nachos here tonight.
Oh yeah, great nachos at
Yeah,
Pops.
so I said I'm gonna serve her nachos when she wins in November.
Well, this is kind of nice. Do you think there's any other girls on the volleyball squad that would want to join his team? How many girls do you have on your team so far, Coach?
We're 16. That's with JV and varsity, and that's what comes out regularly. We're in the weight room every day now. Every practice.
Now, what's the limit? 15?
Right now, I'll take anyone I can get.
Yeah, but there is a limit. Yeah.
Yeah. I love to have 12 on each for varsity and JV, but right now I'm just trying to prepare and build a culture. So we want to make sure it's the right fit right now for all of us.
Oh man. Yeah, I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
My cousin Kiki, if I could get her to play, that'd be great because we used to play together.
What grade is she in?
She's a sophomore.
Okay. She's our middle hitter.
Yeah.
Oh.
The tall one. So, because we played basketball together.
Am I missing something on the name chart? I don't remember seeing Kiki.
Kirsten.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We call her Kiki.
Yeah. That's our nickname.
I'm looking on there, so it'd be Kirsten Montgomery.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
right.
Okay. All right, so I'm looking down there, and I think, I don't remember seeing a Kiki on the line up there. Oh, you have to watch that on the opening things. Okay, go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I want to get her to play with me because we've always played together, and I know her dad really wants her to play. So.
Well, you'll give me the schedule. We'll see if we can plug it in, and we'll start streaming that as well this season. That'd be really fun.
You can have whenever you want. I'm here for you.
Yeah. Coach, when I started, and I know this is about volleyball, but when I started doing basketball and I introduced Lemon Bay girls basketball.
Sure.
And I was the only one who was daring enough because that's boys. No one's going to listen to girls basketball. It's boring, and they all want boys. I was surprised how many people enjoyed listening to the basketball games, and actually how the crowd started to increase to come out to the games, because it's exciting to watch the competitiveness, and you're starting to see it being a coach of volleyball, and there's an uptick, I guess, in girls' sports all across, whether it's high school, collegiate, or even professional.
I mean, for sure. I mean, first of all, you're an awesome commentator, so I'm sure that helps bring in listeners. But, you know,
Give him a double portion of shrimp.
you know, I mean, when females play athletics, you know, everyone thinks in the old days of just them playing with Barbie dolls and all that, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, they flip a switch when they get on a competitive level. And if you can get girls to be competitive and really get after it, you got something special. So I know Coach Martin's going to be working that with his team, and that's going to be exciting to watch them grow this year. Because I know Coach Martin's very, very competitive, and usually a team takes on the characteristic of their head coach. So he's going to do nothing but great things this year.
I'm not giving away any key secrets, because when I was watching a practice last week, it was actually just a few days ago, you were actually challenging the girls. Hey, what kind of work do you do on your homework? What's your GPA type? And now you need to dedicate that much time and effort into the game as well. Other coaches are doing the same thing, so I'm not giving away anything. But that is also important, because their mental state of what they learn academically does translate onto the court.
Sure. I mean, and my whole point in the last few days or so is we've been missing assignments and doing some things that aren't characteristic of disciplined people. So I just kind of went around the group and said, what's your GPA? What's your GPA? And they were all like 4.0s. And I said, so if we're getting 4.0s off the court, you have to be disciplined to be able to get a 4.0. Why aren't we being more disciplined on the court? Yeah. So that was just my whole point, and hopefully it kind of resonated with our team, and I think they did it struck a chord in their heart a little bit, the fact that, you know, we're not dealing with undisciplined players here, we're dealing with disciplined players. So why aren't we being more disciplined, you know, on the volleyball court? Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, those little things add up.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've never seen a team go to the Final Four and not talk a lot. I've never seen a team go to the Final Four and not celebrate. So we're just trying to do some of those little things. And, again, we're young, so we're having to teach them to learn how to love to win. And, you know, there's definitely a process there in place. So sometimes I'm sure they go home with their heads spinning, but our coaching staff has a plan in place. And, you know, that was just one thing of teaching a young player on how to be a veteran player, because that's what veterans do. Yeah. They take care of the little details.
And the culture of winning, and that's important.
Sure.
Okay, Sadie, he comes to you last Friday because I heard him say this. How did you take it, and how did the team take it? Because you're on the court. You're listening to the coach now asking these questions. Now, I'm not going to ask you to reveal your GPA or anything like that, but you had everybody's right there, and nobody was ashamed to say what they do.
I mean, we have a smart team, and, like, they're all really, like, good girls. And, like, when we all are really, like, I don't know, we vibe really good together. And when we get on the court, I feel like, I don't want to say we don't have a lot of trust in each other, because we do. But I feel like just because we're so young, it's just like we're taking away little details that, like, I know 2 years ago, like, he had an analogy about, like, taking a $1 bill and throwing it on the ground, like, oh, you don't want that dollar. And then if we took a play off, and then, like, the dollars add up, like, to $20 to $30. So I just think about that, and yeah.
Well, did you get that idea from that game show or something, where they had that suitcase or something? Are you willing to trade this suitcase for this suitcase? You have $10 in here, but there could be $10,000 in this box.
Well, the funny thing was we were talking about dollar bills, and every time we take a play off, it's like dropping a $1 bill. And I started thinking, you know what? A lot of these girls drive better cars than me, so maybe a dollar bill it doesn't mean that much to them. So we kind of, well, what about $10? What about $20? So we kind of, you know, got in their world a little bit, and you know, and it did come across that they were just dropping a lot of money along the way, and you know, after a while it does add up. So
Well, the thing is, if you
I
take
actually
the
forgotten
dollars,
about it.
you start spending the dollars, where if you let it reinvest,
Right.
you're less apt to maybe spend that $100. You don't win 100 playoff games.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying.
But when you give a free play up, it's like handing money over to the other team or giving presents to the other team. So unless, you're family with that team, then why are we giving so many presents to the other team? So it's just a mindset, and I know Coach Martin would agree with me. After coaching, JV basketball, I know they would give up a lot of dollar bills just because they're young, and so I know he had that, trying to get his mindset, their kids' mindset available as well to get them ready for the varsity level.
How's the withdrawal level on your bank?
I think
that was a good way of putting it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What I think Coach Wheatley's trying to do is look at a big picture. It's the big picture. So one play off, leads more and more and more. So I think it's more of the big picture. We don't want $20. Okay, I'm okay with losing $2. I'm not okay losing $20. Especially I see that on the boys' side. One mistake always leads to two. It's kind of like, shark in the water. I always say bleed in the water. You got to get rid of that. So that's kind of what I think he's trying to produce there, is let them know it's okay to lose two. We got to eliminate those mistakes.
Right.
Don't let it get to 10.
All right. The show's happy to have you with us. We are live from Pop's Sunset Grill. And, Coach, this is a warm and humid one tonight, a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. This is middle September.
It is, but you know what? It's starting to fill up a little bit, and the reason why it's filling up is because of the great food that they serve here, and just the atmosphere is awesome. I mean, just look around, look behind me, look at the water behind me. I mean, there's some great snook in that intercoastal right there that I'd love to go catch. But the line's starting to build up a little bit, and I don't know if they have any live music, but they got a brand new tiki bar on the other side. So this is a really cool place, especially if you have family in town and want to show them a little bit of old Florida. This is the place to go.
We have half-price nights all the way through to the end of the year, and so that's for the regulars, the locals that come here. The seasonals, once that starts, December 31st, it changes. Then January 1st, it goes back to regular prices. So tonight, half-price burgers on Mondays, and so each night has a different half-price item on their menu. So come on down and enjoy it, and Pops is the home of your coaches show. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Really cool.
All right, Sadie and Coach Martin here. You guys were talking about Michigan and Army, and you didn't want to diss on Michigan, but you wanted to kind of promote a little bit of Army, huh?
100%. First of all, most people in this area know I'm a huge Michigan fan, but
it pales in comparison to the Auburn fan across the table.
I don't know. He's right up there with the Go Blue. I mean,
I told you I look up to Coach Wheatley, so I tried to.
He's right up there with it.
So are you president of the M Club?
Yes. I've seen the tickets for a long time. I'm a huge fan.
He flies up for a lot of the home games, so he's diehard.
I'm diehard.
Okay.
But no, I mean, that is my team, but I also, not only am I a coach, I love sports. I'm a gym rat, and I have to give credit to where credit's due. And I truly believe Army did everything they could. And not only that, just the preparation I know it takes to play a team like Michigan. So I definitely give them all the credit in the world to even come into Ann Arbor and play the way they did.
The big game, I'm from Ohio, so the big game is always the last one, and that is when Ohio State and Michigan, when they meet on that last rivalry weekend.
Yes, it is. I'm from Ohio as well.
Did you know that it was the marching band director of Michigan that designed and gave Script Ohio as a gift to Ohio State University?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's
so
awesome.
Here you have competing schools, but yet that band director designed it and came up with that and gave it as a gift to the marching band.
And they still do it today.
Yeah.
I think that's why you have those rivalries with each other, because not only we're neighboring states, but you also have the tradition there between both universities. It's top notch.
All right. This gal to your right, she's looking at playing volleyball at one of these schools around here. And where are you going?
I'm going to Anderson University. It's in South Carolina.
Okay. Now, there was a reason why you picked that school, because of a team that they play.
Yeah, so my cousin goes to Wingate, and they end up playing each other. They're like two of the best teams in like the D2, what is that, SEC conference. So I fell in love with the school and I fell in love with the coach, but it just made it better if I got to see my cousin. So,
Coach Wheatley, when a student, a player that you coach, when they are looking to go to college, they've been through your program maybe 2, 3, 4 years, and you know what's happening. They come to you for guidance and say, what do you think about this? What should I do here? And you kind of, because those are kind of weird waters to kind of go through if you're unsure about the schools.
You know, I think as coaches, our job is just to try to give opportunities, and whatever our players choose is totally up to them. And, you know, if they ask for advice, we give it. If they don't, that's absolutely fine too.
But generally they will ask for advice.
Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't, you know. And I know Sadie went to Anderson and absolutely fell in love with it. And she could see herself going there. And, you know, and that's what you want from your players. You want them to feel like, you know, they fit in, and they're going to be their home. And the last thing you want is a player just going to a school not feeling like they really should be there and we make it a year. I mean, the bottom line is she's getting an education for free, and she's going to play a sport that she loves. So, you know, whether a player plays in college or doesn't play in college, it doesn't matter to me at all. We obviously want to give them the opportunity to do that if they want to do that, but at the end of the day, it's totally a family decision.
But it does speak well of your program, though, doesn't it? I mean, I'm kind of you know, putting some praise on your program here, because, you know, they just don't come from any old program, because they're noticed because your program is a good program.
Well, I hope that we're preparing our kids to go play, and it would be disappointing that if they weren't prepared to play.
Yeah.
So I hope when they get there, they're like, you know what, this is a piece of cake compared to Venice. And you know, I think Sadie's going to do great things, and she's got some really high academic goals, and I think she's going to have an awesome time at Anderson, and she's going to be, tops in that conference as well. So I'm excited for her.
Coach Martin, you're looking for your kids to go to UConn, aren't you?
Love to. I mean, anywhere. I mean, I think our job as coaches is to give them an opportunity. If it's not in basketball, but it's, you know, prepare them for life. And I think that leads in a bigger example and a bigger stone in their path. I think that's what we're supposed to be doing for these kids.
This is not basketball coming up this weekend, and after we take our next break, we're going to talk about the beach, the Battle of the Beach, and then also maybe a little Durango here. But
and Hoover as well.
And
Riverview.
Because Riverview is tomorrow, and
Yep.
Hoover is like the preamble to the weekend.
Correct.
I mean, it's really cool. You, though, as a basketball coach, and you have some of your basketball kids, you know, already, and you probably help and say, hey, help out with the basketball or with the volleyball program.
I mean, we're here for each other. I think that's one thing that's awesome about being a member of the Venice Indians is we're here for each other. And I would do anything for Coach Wheatley and his program, so our kids are here for him. And
All right, welcome back to the Coaches Show. We're live here at Pop Sunset Grill. Coach Brian Wheatley, this is his show. This is the Volleyball Coaches Show, and special guest appearances by senior Sadie Kluner and by the new Venice basketball coach for the girls, Jeremy Martin. Hey, Coach, you're going to break my cord.
Sorry.
Pretty soon, all of a sudden.
Fidgety.
Yeah, that's fidgety.
I'm waiting for that peel and eat shrimp coming up.
By the way, that was a break that we took. It was a server break because everybody got their order in all the way around. Okay, Hoover. He's coming on down, and we'll get to Riverview, which is tomorrow night. But Hoover is the preamble, I call, to the weekend, because you were playing them, especially on Thursday night before the Battle of the Beach. You said, because I talked to you a month ago. You said, I just want to make sure I get a game in with him.
Yeah, I mean, Hoover High School athletics is one of the, biggest, most prominent names in America for high school athletics. They've got an unbelievable football team. All their sports are unbelievable. I mean, they're right up there with modern day. in California, and you know, so for them to come down is awesome. I'm good buddies with the coach up there. I've known him for over 20 years. He's an awesome coach, and he's got some incredible athletes coming down that are just going to be a treat for our fans. His number one player, 6'4", committed to Florida.
Oh, wow.
And she's something. So it's going to be a great match. They're going to be really athletic. We're really going to have to really serve them tough to get them out of system because their big kid's probably going to hit over us. So we're excited to have them come down. They're part of the Battle of the Beach as well, and it's going to be a great match on Thursday night at 7 o'clock.
Okay, Sadie, he mentioned 6'4", and all you could think about was what happened with Cardinal Mooney and Jordan King, who is 6'4", 6'5", and she went up the spike, and you guys went up the block, and it's like, does that strike fear into you or not?
No, not really. Okay, so I have been playing at like this level for the past 3 years. So I've seen some really, really good players. So by now I'm just kind of used to it. So like all the like, because we're a younger team this year, like I'm sure like our younger girls are like, oh wow, like she's really big. Like I don't know if I'll be able to block her. I don't know if I'll be able to dig her. But I don't know. They just need to dig in and just
it's
trust
a mindset.
the process.
Yeah, it's a mindset.
When you go up against like a Jordan King, and you know they're going to spike it, and there's like 2 or 3 of you up there, you know you're going to get slammed. You know that ball's going to come right into your face, your hands, your arms, your body. You have to be willing to go up there and take the hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that bother you, or did it at first? Because everybody says, well, being a girl, they don't want to get hit. They don't want to take the blow of the ball smacking them. But you guys get up there, and you're fearless.
Yeah,
You're like a little Yorkshire Terrier.
I have 2 brothers, so I'm kind of used to fighting. But I don't know. Like when I go up there, my only thought is like I have to get this point, or like I have to block her, like I have to take away some area of the court. Like I'm not afraid to get hit by the ball.
Okay. All right, Coach, let's talk about Riverview tomorrow. We're going to be going up there. We're going to stream it back to the fans.
Awesome.
This is Riverview, Sarasota. It's coached by a former player that you coached.
Yeah, Nikki Halbert is the head coach. I believe this is
Nikki, not Kiki.
No, Nikki. And Nikki was a player for us in 04 to 07, played at Elon University, but she won a state championship for us as a setter. So she was a heck of a player, and she's definitely an up-and-coming coach in the area. She's young and she's energetic, and I know Riverview. They want to. They've circled this game, and they want to talk about us at the banquet. Last year they gave out shirts that said "Beat Venice" to all the students. So those are the kind of things that we remember. We don't we like to remember that kind of stuff to give us some motivation. But
quickly, the Battle of the Beach, talk about it, because we're going to have to close up because it's starting to pour down rain, so we're going to get swamped on here. Battle of the Beach this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
We got 16 teams in there, all from all corners of the state. We're going to start at 3:30 on Friday, and the finals are going to be 2 o'clock on Saturday. So if you want to come down and watch some great volleyball in both gyms, we'll have 4 courts going. It's going to be some exciting stuff, and if you're a fan of volleyball, you're going to love it. If you're not, give it a try out, because there's going to be some awesome players that are committed to some big schools there. And last year we figured out that the local economy gained about $100,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just from hotel and eating out and all that kind of stuff. So if you see a team walking around Venice Avenue, make sure you're giving them a warm Venice welcome, and just show them what Venetians are really about.
All right. Sadie, Battle of the Beach, how excited are you?
I'm really excited.
This will be your last Battle of the Beach.
Yeah, I know. I'm like upset about it, because it's such a tradition now that because I've like grown up with it, like on varsity, like I've been in it every year. So it's just,
Explain the difference of this. I know it's over a weekend. I know there's 16 teams, but explain what goes on behind the scenes that makes this so unique.
there's just so much competition, like when you're playing, and like when you're not on the court, there's like other teams that are off too. And like last year, I remember we were bonding with one of the teams from the East Coast. Like we were like getting each other Snapchats, and I still have a few of the girls' Snapchats, and like I still talk to them. So it's like competitive volleyball, but it's also just like building friendships, I guess. So yeah.
It's just respect for one another and the good volleyball that takes place.
Yeah.
So,
Coach Martin, a final thought for you, and then we're going to have to start wrapping it up because it's going to start raining on us.
First of all, thanks again for having me. I'm so truly
It was
excited.
everything a coach and I could do to let you participate.
Thank you.
No,
I
we're
appreciate it.
teasing you, obviously.
No, but I'm excited. We're definitely changing the culture. Look forward to what's coming. Please spread the word, and I'll be here. I'm here in the community, here for our Lady Indians, and I'm excited for what's coming up. 50 days to tryouts.
Wow.
nice.
Coach, final thought.
Hey, great week. Come on down to Riverview tomorrow night. And they're going to have a great crowd. Again, you know, they got Venice circled on their calendar for many months now, and it was actually it's been switched. We were supposed to be at home tomorrow night, but we had a flip-flop because of a previous thing going on at Venice High. So we're going to be at Riverview tomorrow night. It's a tough place to play, but it's a fun place to play, and it's starting to, you know, all the girls know each other, so they get after it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So
Now, next week, are we still going to be able to do the Coaches Show before you go to Vegas?
we should be able to do that, yeah.
Okay, any
Yeah.
idea who our guest appearances will be, or will it be mystery guests?
That's going to be a surprise.
okay, just like Coach Martin was until this morning.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening and for watching. We'll catch you again next week on the Volleyball Coaches Show with Brian.